What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of 10 Horse Monte YouTube channel. We're out here on Cedar Lake today. It is Sunday afternoon. Got a few hours to fish. About 50 degrees, bluebird skies, wind's blowing out of the north. A little bit of a front push through yesterday. And I'm glad the sun's out. It's a little bit nippy out here. Get out in the wind, it's gonna be a little more nippy, but it's okay. I'm gonna get out here and check out the water temperatures. I think the grass is probably dying. I mean, I brought my punching rig and my frog slash toad. But I don't know, that might be over. We're gonna get out here and see if that's still going on. Probably gonna have to fish some grass and some secondary points and stuff. Gonna try out a couple new baits, let you guys know how those work, and we'll see what happens. There we go, folks. Still on the Crocodile Zapper jig, man. Got black and blue with a June bug speed crawl on there. It's fishing a main lake bank. Wind is howling out of the north. It's chilly out here, but pretty good fish. It's a start. Just trying to stay main lake. I think most of these fish have moved out of the creeks for the most part. Water temp is 50 degrees. So I can say the frog bite is over, you know, most likely. It's hard to say that, but I think the frog bite, punching bite's over. It's time to start adjusting to these winter tactics. And, you know, a black and blue jig is a really good bait in the wintertime. It's like a black toad in the fall and a black jig in the late fall winter period. There he is. Jerkbait fish. Across that grass. Alright. It's the Berkley Stunner. 112. There he is. On it on the pause. On it on the pause. Barely got the back hook too. It's a striper. Thought it was fighting kind of funny. A striper. There you go, Sean. That one's for Sean Hurst. Thanks for your striper stocking program. It's working. There it is. Thought I got bumped the first time. Yeah, that fish hit it once and came back and got it. Thought I felt something. I couldn't tell if it was the bottom or if it was a fish, and it was a fish because he came back. Nothing big, but it's fun. It's fun catching them on jerkbait finally. Starting to like this little stunner. Not sure what color that is. I don't know, probably need to look that up. That's what we're looking for. Bunch of shad hanging out right here. Bunch of shad. Good old underspin. Good old underspin. They're down there, guys. They are down there. It was fun on a tough day. move around a little bit. Good fish. They're being finicky today, guys. Alright, fine. Be like that. Midday report from the THM live stream studio, aka my basement living room. This is a Croc-A-Gator Zapper jig. I showed up at the lake. I was like, I want to throw a jig around. Hadn't had a good jig bite, so I thought I would tie one on, take it for a spin, and test it out. This is a new jig to me. First time I'd thrown this. And if you are testing a new bait, it's nice to go through an area that you're real familiar with. You know, I fished a stretch that I fished many, many times with a jig. Every jig's a little bit different. So if you know the area really well, you can go down through there. You can see how it comes through the snaggy spots or the rocky spots through the brush and stuff, and get a good feel. Good jig, I like it. Got a nice weed guard, got a nice beefy hook. But I caught that ghost fish. You know, it was like my third cast. Fish loads up on it. I'm thinking they're on a jig today. Fished it for about 20 more minutes. Nothing. What's a ghost fish? A ghost fish is that fish that leads you down the wrong path. You know, you get a bite right off the bat and you're like, okay, they're dialed in on that, and you keep continuing to fish that presentation and nothing else happens. After I'd fished for about 20 minutes, I decided I'm gonna switch it up. You know, I picked up that jerk bait, caught a few fish on that, and then I ran back to an area where I'd been catching some suspended fish, and I broke out the underspin. You know, the underspin is a great way to catch fish in the fall and the winter. It's just ideal for targeting those suspended fish that are hanging around bait fish. This is a little 3/8 ounce Cumberland Pro Apex underspin. It's got a little Kitech on there. Just did a video on that. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. I talk a little bit more about this. But I caught a few of those fish, so I knew that was going on. And I decided I'm gonna go try to catch some jerkbait fish. You know, the water was like 50. It should be time. So that's what I did. There he is, right on that grass line. That was awesome. It was totally still. Bait was not even moving. Saw my line jump. Just fishing this little point here. That's awesome. There we go. Right on the grass. Well, actually that grass in about 7 foot. This is fun. First decent jerkbait trip of the year. Enjoying it. That little Berkley Stunner. Stunner, not Stunner. Stunner, the 112. The jerkbait I was throwing today was the Berkley Stunner 112 in Table Rock. Got several different colors, but I've been throwing this one around just trying to get a feel for the jerkbait. It's a great jerkbait. It casts really well. It's got EWG Berkley Fusion hooks on there, so if you get a hook in the fish, it's gonna stay hooked up. It gets down about 5 foot and it's a slow sinking bait. You know, it's a really slow sinking bait, so if you just let it sit, it's gonna work its way down towards the cover of the grass. You gotta be mindful of it, because if you're fishing brush, you let it sit too long, you're definitely gonna get hung up. Lifesaver. I was throwing it on a Lew's Custom Light topwater jerkbait rod. This is a 6'8". It's a medium light action. It's been a great rod. I've had it for several years. And I like 8 to 10 pound fluorocarbon. 7-to-4, 7-to-1 gear ratio reel. Just something you can pick up slack with kind of fast. Doesn't matter so much on a jerkbait because you're not really using the reel to work it. It's basically just for picking up slack. The fish were relating to the outside grass line today. You know, the grass grows out to about 8, 9, maybe 10 foot in some places, and they were definitely relating to that. There's fish up shallow in some of the matted stuff, I do believe, but the jerkbait fish were sitting out there a little bit deeper, and I had to let it sit for a little bit. This is a slow sinking jerkbait, like I mentioned. So I'm envisioning the bass sitting down in that grass, just kind of looking up, waiting for a little morsel to swim by. Throw that jerkbait out, reel it down about 4 or 5 times, and then make about 3 jerks. Just hit it about 3 times and just let it sit. And this thing is a slow fall. So let's just pretend this Croc-A-Gator jig is the bass. sitting down there in the grass, and here comes this jerkbait, and it's just kind of slowly falling. I think the bass rise up out of that grass to eat it. You jerk it again, then he comes up and grabs it. That's one of the advantages about a slow fall jerkbait, is you're meeting that fish halfway.
There he is. Saw my line jump. He's watching my line. You gotta watch your line. Saw that line jump. There he is. So the cool thing about this jerkbait is it actually sinks. It's a slow sink jerkbait. So on that pause, it's sinking down towards that grass, and it's kind of meeting these fish halfway. And it's pretty cool. You always want your jerkbait to be suspending or slowly sinking. I actually like it to sink really slow for that reason right there. You're kind of meeting that fish halfway. He's down there in the grass, seeing it overhead, and it starts sinking towards them, gets in their face, and just come up and suck it in. This jerkbait's got EWG hooks, and usually with EWG hooks, when you get the fish, they don't come off. I mean, if they're swiping at it, you might have to change it to a round bend, because a round bend seems to grab them a little bit better. But if they're hitting it good, EWG is definitely the way to go. So that was fun.
Cadence is very important with the jerkbait. It changes day to day. Sometimes it changes throughout the day depending on the changing conditions. If you can get by with a faster cadence, by all means do it, because you can cover more water and put your bait in front of more fish. Make that cast, reel it down about 3 or 4 cranks, and then hit it a couple times and let it sit. Start out with a 3-second cadence. So pop it a couple times, 1001, 1002, 1003. Hit it again, 1002, 1001, whatever. You know what I'm saying. Just fast first. Start out fast. Even if the water's like in the mid-40s, doesn't matter. Start out fast. See if you get some reaction from the fish. Go through an area that looks right, that's got signs of life, or it's an area you've caught fish in before, and just give it about 10 or 15 minutes at that cadence. If that's not working, increase your pause. So go from a 3-second pause to maybe a 5-second pause. And then if that's not working, you're gonna have to let it sit a little bit longer. Another thing is the actual jerk cadence, the intervals of the jerk. You know, mix it up. Maybe hit it once and let it sit, then maybe hit it 2 times, let it sit, and then 1, 1, 2. Just mix it up a little bit, but pay attention to what you're doing. And if you get a bite doing a certain cadence, a certain jerk pattern, try to replicate that, because many times that is what they want for that given day.
Okay, we've got a secondary point right here. We've got a weed edge, you know, visible weed edge, and the grass is tapering off down to about 8 foot deep. And I'm just taking this jerkbait, tossing it out there towards the visible grass, and I'm just going to reel it down about 3 or 4 or 5 cranks, and just jerk it 1, 2, 3, just let it sit. I'm trying to figure out the cadence. It's been about a 3 or 4 second cadence, and then I'm going to just hit it a couple times and let it sit. It's kind of what I'm doing, just working this outside grass line, actually the submerged grass over the top, and these fish are coming out of it to get this bait. But they're wanting it kind of slow today. Water's 50 degrees, still fairly warm for jerkbait fishing, but they're in a little bit of a funk today, so they're wanting to sit there and look at it a little bit and come up out of that grass to grab it. See if I can get a bite here. Running out of time. There he is. I was reeling that down, and the fish grabbed it. Huh. Aggressive little suckers. Where the heck is that fish at? Oh, I got him right in the top of the head. Oh, it's a striper. No wonder. Feisty. Definitely fight different. They fight a whole lot different than a largemouth. It's a pretty fish. Really pretty fish. They're aggressive. And that fish was sitting in like 2 foot of water, reeled it down, and bam, slammed it.
Traditionally, a jerkbait is used to target those suspending fish. You got to figure out how deep those fish are suspending. A 110, just original 110 style jerkbait, usually gets down there around 5 or 6 foot. Something like this. This is a Strike King J300. It's a deep diving jerkbait. It's going to get down there around 10 foot. So graph a little bit, find your shad, find your bass, and figure out what depth they are in. You know, I think this thing getting down there in 5, this is going to pull fish that are sitting down 8, 9 feet deep, depending on the water clarity. You know, 4 or 5 foot visibility, you're going to be able to pull those fish 4, 5, 6 foot, maybe even further. The fish are down there in 15, you're going to have to throw a jerkbait that gets down there around 10 to pull those fish to you. So idle around, figure out what depth the fish are in, and then choose a jerkbait accordingly. Let's talk colors real quick. 3 basic color patterns that you need to have before you start expanding. I mean, if I was going to have 3 colors, these are the 3 colors that I think you need that we're going to cover most conditions. French Pearl has been around for a long time. It's a standard color, so it's white, that orange. Bone is another good color. This is something you're going to throw on like overcast days when you need something really bold, something that pops and the fish are aggressively feeding. Another color you need to throw in the arsenal is something with a lot of flash. This is a Lucky Craft SP100. This is American shad, so it's got a dark back. It's got that chrome kind of side, white belly. And there are days when they really want that flash for whatever reason. A lot of times a bluebird sky, you know, a little bit of wind. They want that flash, that pop. This is another bait that's got that same kind of profile. It's got some gold in there, a little bit darker, but it's the same kind of concept. Just some chrome, some flash. This is that Strike King 300 deep diver. Another color you need to have is the Pro Blue. It's kind of translucent. It's got that white belly, just a little bit of blue or purple on the back. This is for those bright days. Just when they get a really good look at the bait, they want something that, you know, they can't quite make it out, and this is just a color you need to have. This is, you know, the Megabass version of it, but something in the Pro Blue lineup. So you need French Pearl or something white, bold, bone color. You need chrome, something with some flash, and then you need something with like a Pro Blue, something that's kind of translucent. And these are just 3 colors. This is like saying a black and blue jig and a green pumpkin jig. As you get into it a little bit more, you can get into the little subtleties and little variations, because there are definitely little color tweaks that make a big difference. You know, this is that Berkeley Stunna, this is Table Rock. You know, it's got a lot going on in there. There are times when they want something like this, but generally speaking, those are kind of your 3 main colors that you can build off. And as you get more into jerkbait fishing, you just kind of fan out and start trying different things.
There he is, on the pause, for the cause. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one, folks. Big jumper. It's rare to have a fish jump like that in 50-degree water. That fish smashed it. Sitting there shallow in the grass. Fun. Come on, baby. Glad I retied. Glad I retied. Just getting ready to pick up a spoon because I keep seeing all these big fish on the bottom, and he got it good. T-boned it. T-boned it, man. Look at that. That's how you want him to eat it. Look at that. Nice, fat, healthy fish. T-bone, baby. Ate it good, man. These EWG hooks, man, when they eat it like that, they're not coming off. It's a nice fat fish. It feels good. Just jerking it, and it was just sitting. It was sitting for about, I don't know, like 5 seconds, and all of a sudden my line just jumped.
So who makes the best jerkbait? I mean, arguably, the Megabass Vision 110 is hard to beat. It's $25 though. I mean, if you just want to cut through it all and go out and spend some money, get you 3 of these. Get you a Pro Blue, get you a French Pearl, and get you like a Western Clown or something with a lot of flash. Some of the better mid price point jerkbaits that I fish, the Spromix stick is a really, really good solid jerkbait. They've got a really good color lineup. Basically anything you can need in any situation, Spro McStick 110 has got you covered. This bait's going to get down there in that 5 or 6 foot zone. Excellent bait. The Jackal Rearrange is another good one. It's got a weight transfer system. It's in that $14 price point range, the same as the McStick. The McStick might be like $1 cheaper than that. Lucky Craft, the SB100, solid bait. It's also in that $15 range. A little bit cheaper price point. This is the Lucky Strike RC Sticks. It's about an $8 bait. This is a pretty good bait. You know, when this thing first came out, it was mimicking the Vision 110. It's almost the same exact bait. A little bit different weight transfer system, but just looking at it, you can't hardly tell the difference. The old ones are better than the new ones. I got some of the new ones and they're not the same bait. They're a little bit shorter. They've got a little bit different bill, but they're still a pretty good jerk bait. So this is like an $8 jerk bait. You can't go wrong with these. The Rapala Husky Jerk is another good one. It's kind of overlooked. Rapala's got several good jerk baits. You know, you can find those pretty much everywhere. They carry them at Walmart, carry them everywhere. They're like $10 or less. So that's a really good solid jerk bait. The Rogue, hard to cast, excellent cold water jerk bait. And if you want to move down to something more finessey, this little Lucky Craft SB78 is hard to beat. I like the DD. It gets down there about 8 foot. And don't forget about the Berkley Stunner 112. Excellent jerk bait. I've had a chance to throw it around a couple different trips. I really like it. I think it's something you definitely need in your lineup. So you got multiple baits to choose from. Just pick up a few, try them out, and each one has a little bit different action. Get a little bit of confidence and build from there. One more thing I like to do with my jerk baits is I like a snap for a couple different reasons. It gives it a lot of action. That bait's free to swing and do whatever it wants. And you can also undo that snap. You can take your bait off, put another one on. So you can try different styles, different sizes, different colors real quick. Gives it more action and you got a lot more options without having to retie every time.
There he is. That's a good fish. That's a good fish. Fish hammered it. It was stunning jerk bait. Come on, baby. Let's have a look at you. Nice. Nice fish. There we go. There we go, folks. Kind of a jerkbait deal today. You know, everything's slowing down. Fall feed is coming to an end. It's ended, actually, in my opinion, and it's winter time. Water's 49 to 50 degrees. Fish have really slowed down. You know, they're on the bottom out here deep, but I can't get them to bite. I'm just kind of jerking this jerkbait around the grass, and it's a good fish. It's a really good fish. Happy to have that sucker. Thanks for coming along on this adventure. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not. Share it on social media. Hit that bell notification so every time I'm dropping content, you'll be the first to know. And until next time, it's fun, you know. Frog's done. Punching's done. It's jerkbait, A-rig, dragging a jig, shaky head kind of thing, underspin maybe. Just gotta slow down. That's a nice fish. Feels good to catch a decent fish.